only during Writer's Workshop time, but during Daily 5 time. I was so excited that you guys are using what you're learning in Writer's Workshop to Daily 5 time. That made me happy. That made me warm and fuzzy. Jordan!
Think about how, why, where, when.
Yeah, ask yourself those questions, right? A reader might ask you, who are you talking about? So we need to include our who, right? Good, all of our questions. What else, Austin?
You can use shapes.
Yeah, right? When we're writing, using some color, shape, and size words to make it more interesting. Isabel.
Make sure your pictures match the words.
Make sure your pictures match the words. Hey, this morning when we were reading that Twinkle Twinkle book, did one of our pictures match the words?
No.
Right? We found that the picture didn't match the words, did it?
There's a wheel.
It didn't make any sense.
There's a wheel.
All right, and how about writing in what?
Twin
Sentences. We need to. Okay. All right, Sylvia and Ariane, I need you over here because I got something really important today. I got to share something with you guys. Can I share something with you? Do you know what happened last weekend? I had to dog sit my cousin's dog because they were going away. So we had her dog at our house. And her name happens to be Belle, which Belle isn't here today. But guess what? So I'm dog sitting Belle, and I was sitting there, and we were playing, and all of a sudden I thought, oh no, I don't have any food for the dog. So I had to go to the grocery store. But because Belle was new to my house, I didn't want to leave her there all by herself, because she might have, got scared because she's not used to my house. So I called up my mom and I said, hey Mom, can you come watch Belle while I run to the grocery store? So my mom comes up and she says, I'll watch Belle. So I said, good. And I handed her this book, this teaching book all about dogs, and I said, here, read this. It'll help you, and I'll be back in a half hour. And I said, bye Mom. And I left. Okay, so I went to the grocery store. So my mom was reading all about dogs, and I got back and I said, well, how did it go? And my mom said, really good, except I couldn't find the ball sticks. I looked at her like she was crazy. I'm like, what do you mean, ball sticks? What are you talking about? She's like, well, in the book, it says, the part about playing, it says, dogs are playful. They like to play with ball sticks.
That's not like
And I went, oh, that's not what I meant at all. I meant to write, they like to play with balls and sticks. But I forgot the word and. So my mom didn't know that. She thought ball sticks. Well, she didn't know what that was and she couldn't find it. Well, no wonder she couldn't find it, because that's not what I meant. Even though I reread this story before I gave it to her, I still didn't catch that confusing part. So guess what, writers? Today, I want to teach you that writers need to have other readers reread their writing. Because sometimes you yourself don't catch confusing parts. And sometimes there might be some parts that are left out. And sometimes there's parts that are added that don't make any sense. Like in my book all about dogs, I left out the word and. Because I left that out, it didn't make any sense to my reader, which was my mom. So I need your guys' help today. Can you guys be a reader of one of my stories for me? Can you help me? No, I'm going to have all of you help me. I like how you raised your hands, though, saying you wanted to help. That makes me happy. Okay. Do you guys remember the other day I shared a story about lunch?
Yeah.
About Parkview lunch? Well, guess what? I had some elves come to help me add to my writing. Okay? And I want to just read it with you today. And I want you to listen. Oh, I'll wait till I have my good listeners. I'm going to read it to you now that my elves help me add more. And then I want you to listen carefully to see if you can hear of any parts that might be confusing. Some parts that might need to be added, or something that might need to be taken out. Okay? All right, listen carefully. You can eat lunch at Parkview. Before you eat, you have to get milk in your tray. Then you get the rest of your food and scan your finger. As you eat, you do your math homework. When you are in the cafeteria, remember that? We switched that the other day? You have to eat quietly. Make sure you drink your food. After you finish eating, you put your tray on the counter. Then you get to go outside. Outside can play with and go on jungle gym. Some kids on grass to ball. Now you know how lunch works at our school. Well, I heard you guys chuckle a little bit. Did you find some parts in there that might be a little confusing? Turn and talk to your partner. See if you can find some parts.